Hi, and good morning. Today, since it's Friday, that means messages from Spirit. And once again, I'm using my Goddess Speaks cards. I'm going to shuffle the deck, and when I'm guided to stop, I'm going to choose three cards. I'll hold the card up, and then I'll draw the next card and the next card. And you choose whether you think card number one, two, or three holds a message for you. Then at the end, I'm going to put them all together to see what our overall message is for the upcoming week. Are you ready? Well, let's just give this a little shuffle. And just to remind you that if you want a private reading with me here in my home, or if you have a group of people that you're having in and they'd all like to have a reading, maybe you'd like to host it one afternoon or evening at your home, I'd be more than happy to do that as well. Just contact me and we can go from there. All right, card number one is coming up now. And no, you don't get to see what's on the back of it yet. Go with your intuition. And perhaps it's more card number two. And finally, card number three. All right, I'll hold them up one more time. Card number one, card number two, card number three. All right, do you have your card? Let's begin. For those of you who chose card number one, you got the crone today, and she is talking about being a teacher. As we know, the crone represents that stage in our life when physically when we're older. We've already gone through the stages of being the maiden, the mother, and now we're the crone. But anyone can be a crone at any age. It also refers to wisdom that you've gathered. Someone who's come into this world as an old soul. You know, those children that seem to know way more than they should for their age. They're often an old soul, so they have the wisdom of a crone already. But what she's telling us today, because it is the teacher, reminding you that you are right now in a position where you can be a teacher. Now, that isn't automatically you think of someone being a teacher in a school. We're teachers in more ways than that. There are people that are looking to you for advice. There are people that need to learn something that you can offer them. Not only is it just, it can be in practical things, every day-to-day things like cooking and gardening and maybe just advice on financial advice or something like this nature. It's where you can help them through a situation in their life that you've already gone through, and you're able to teach them how to do that. I also do feel that there's some of you, though, that are going to be offered a position or an opportunity that's going to come up where you can lead a workshop, where you're going to be able to get to the point now where you've done something long enough that now you're at a point where you're comfortable and the opportunity arrives that you can teach that to someone else. For example, maybe you've had your Reiki 3 and Masters for the last year or two, and you've been practicing on people, um, and you've ready to start your business per se, or practice by opening it up more to have clients come in so that you can use Reiki. And then after another little while, you're going to feel comfortable enough to teach other people how to do it. That's what your master's is for. And I'm just using that as an example. But it's like you're in a position where you're now ready to expand and share with others what you have learned. Okay, that's card number one. Card number two, you're the mother. She's right in the middle. She's about creation, nurturing, and this card is very appropriate for that. It's about birth or rebirth. So this is implying that at this moment and over the next week, there are going to be other things that are going to come up for you that you've been wanting to do, been preparing for it, and the time is right to give birth to that idea, to that project. And rebirth implies that it's not always something new. It could be something you've been reshaping, redoing, reworking. So whether it's that project around the house or whether it's an idea that you have for the workplace, now is the time to step into that. I feel as though there are some of you as well that have been looking for a work-related change, so a change in a job, a new position. Now is the time to seriously consider doing that. The energies are right for that for you, that it's time to give birth to that new job. It's time to uh, find ways to do things that you didn't before. And I feel there's some of you, we get to a stage in life where we've kind of worked our careers and things around family, especially if you have children. Now you're at a time when they're okay. They're doing their thing. So what is it you do now? It's time to give rebirth to the family dynamic. What is it that you want to do, and how can you now work that in? Maybe there's things you've been putting off because of that, or because of obligations you've had to family, and those things have changed. There's changes in your living conditions um, for the better, but you may have to shift things around a little bit. Maybe you have a family member that's moving in with you. And so now it's time to, how are we going to make this work? And also this time of year, we often have our young ones leaving the nest as they go off to school or work. So it's adapting to those things. So this is what this time for you, that chose number 2, is about: rebirth and giving birth. It's a time of creation, it's a time of change, but positively. And it's a time when you look at it and step into it. Don't put it off any longer. Now, those who chose card number 3, don't be afraid when I show you this card. It is the Death card and the Crone. The Crone realizes when a cycle is complete. Let's face it, it's a natural fact. When we get into the Crone, we're closer to the grave than we were the cradle. And but she also recognizes that when one cycle ends, another one begins. So just like our life cycle isn't completely, our life here on earth is over at death, but it begins again in spirit and will quite often come back again and go through the life experience. It's just a continuous circle. This does not represent a physical death for you. What this is a complete ending to a cycle for you. So again, if it kind of ties in with all the rest of them, this is the time when the old ways, it's time to put them to rest, to complete the cycle so that then you're now open to move forward. But things have to be concluded first. So if there are things that you've been putting off that you know need to be done, do them. Whether it's as simple as cleaning out your closet or the garage so that you can get ready for winter. This is the time to get at those things because this is your time. You're going to have the time allowed for it, the resources available for it. So it's time to allow something to end. That's what this Death card is representing. It's also representing for those who have gone through in their family and friends a death of a loved one. It's time to do something, if you have not already, ritualistically, to honor that person's life so that that cycle can be put to rest. It doesn't mean you forget them. It just means you give them peace. You give yourself peace. You complete that cycle. Do something that is represents that to you. Maybe you've been putting off going through their things or closing out their accounts or all of those sorts of things that are difficult and can be overwhelming. For any of us that have gone through it, you know it can seem a lot, but it will help you in the grieving process. Again, this Death card does not mean your death. It means the end of a cycle. So whatever you're in right now, you are near the end of it. Don't give up. Keep going. And once you have that cycle completed, it means then you'll be ready to start a new one. So that was for card number 3. Now, how do all these 3 cards work together? And again, I'm always even amazed myself at the messages that come through that are so tied in. So remember, the first card was teacher. The second card was birth and rebirth. The last card was death. And I find it interesting that we have these two cards on each side of the teacher. Well, how do they blend in? Well, again, this is an opportunity for you to be the one who's leading the way. But in order to do that, you have to be willing to accept the death card, that it's time to end a cycle so that you can bring in, give birth, rebirth to an idea, a project, something that helps you to move forward, that begins a new circle. And I believe as well the teacher card here isn't just representing you yourself as being that person that's showing others how to do this. Don't be afraid to accept, to look for a teacher that can help you work through this cycle as well. And that is also what this teacher in this regard means. It's referring to to the whole cycle of closure so that you can have rebirth and birth. So sometimes that means reaching outside of your own self to someone else who can be that example for you. It might mean taking a workshop. It could mean going to a class. It could mean just picking up the phone and listening or having someone listen to you. But this is all about um, accepting the teachings so that you can put closure to one cycle in order to give birth to something else. So again, whether that's your ideas, your own spiritual path moving forward, this is a cycle over this next week where it's a time for change, basically. Don't be afraid of it. Step into it and trust the universe to guide you. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.